is one of the most common yet least understood forms of demonic attack. It's a systematic form of spiritual surveillance, where the enemy assigns specific demons to watch your life, gather information about your patterns, and use that intelligence to launch targeted attacks against your destiny. Most believers who experience this don't recognize it for what it is, but today you're going to learn the warning signs and discover how to break free. But before we dive into the signs, let's understand what spiritual monitoring actually is. In the spiritual realm, information is power. The enemy knows that if he can gather enough intelligence about your life, your patterns, your weaknesses, and your spiritual seasons, he can develop strategies to defeat you more effectively. The problem is, Satan is not omnipresent as God is, and so in order for him to keep his eyes locked on you, he must divide some of his forces to keep their eyes on you. In some cases, you might sense it, but in other cases, you might not. Spiritual monitoring is when demonic forces are assigned to systematically observe and interfere with your life. It's like having spiritual spies assigned to your case. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 19 describes exactly how they work. It says, "And when they shall say unto you, Seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep, and that mutter." Notice that it describes them as those who peep and mutter. To peep means they spy on you, and to mutter means they speak evil words against you. These monitoring spirits watch your life, your relationships, your finances, and your spiritual growth. They report back to higher-ranking demons who use this information to coordinate attacks against your life. The very first major sign that you're under spiritual monitoring is when your private information consistently gets leaked out, even when you've told absolutely no one. I'm not talking about a case where you carelessly share your information out in public. I'm referring to cases where you keep your life private, but somehow every time you have a plan, someone or people get to know about it, and it spreads like wildfire. This happens because monitoring spirits listen to your conversations, watch your movements, and report back to other demons, who then influence people to reveal your private information. It's like having invisible wiretaps on your life that feed information to the enemy's intelligence network. This happened to King David a lot of times. After David's rise in favor, Saul sought to kill him. David had to hide in various places, but something mysterious always happened to David. Every time David hid himself somehow, David's information mysteriously got leaked to Saul.
Shalom, I hope you all are doing well. I'm blessed and I'm back again with just a quick video. As you can see, we're talking about monitoring spirits. Monitoring spirits are demonic agents assigned to observe, track, and gather intelligence about your life. Their mission is not always to attack directly, but to study your patterns, weaknesses, and spiritual growth so the enemy can strike at the most opportune time. So that you'll understand this properly, let me create a scenario for you. Imagine you've been faithfully praying every morning and studying the Word at night. You start feeling closer to the Most High and even notice small breakthroughs in your life. But unknown to you, a familiar spirit assigned to your family line has been watching. It notices that you pray most when you're alone, so it stirs up a sudden wave of phone calls, unexpected visitors, and urgent emergencies right during your prayer time. Let's look at two more. A coworker who you thought was harmless starts asking strange personal questions about your plans and decisions, then repeating them to others. You have a dream one night where you're being watched from a distance, and when you wake up, you feel a heaviness in your spirit. Don't you think that this is just a random event? It's a monitoring spirit working to distract, discourage, and disrupt your growth. Recognizing it gives you the power to pray specifically, shut the doors that it's using, and break its assignment before it can report back to the enemy. The Bible tells us that David experienced the same type of spiritual monitoring from Saul, and it's a strong biblical example of how the enemy can use people to watch and track the righteous. Saul's jealousy and insecurity opened the door for an evil spirit from Yah to influence him. From that point on, Saul kept a close eye on David, not because David had done anything wrong, but because YAH'S favor was on him. 1 Samuel 18:9-10 reads, "And Saul eyed David from that day and forward. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Elohim came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house, and David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand." So as you can see, this evil spirit did come from Yah. And a javelin is like a spear, it's a weapon, and Saul wanted to use this on David. What's striking is that this happened more than once, and each time David escaped, but it revealed that Saul's monitoring and jealousy had moved from just keeping an eye on David to actively plotting his destruction.
In 1 Samuel 23 verse 7, David hid himself, and Saul was told. In verses 14 to 15, David relocated himself to the wilderness of Ziph, and once again, Saul got to know about it. In verses 19 through 24, David changed his location. This again was mysteriously made known to Saul. Every time David hid himself, Saul always heard where he was, and knew where to find him, no matter how much David hid himself. This is how monitoring spirits work too. They always try to expose your private information in one way or another. So, let's say you have a private project you are about to carry out, and you've told absolutely no one, but people you're trying to keep this information start giving you unsolicited advice about it. Or maybe you're planning to change jobs, and somehow your current boss starts acting suspicious, even though you haven't said a word. Information leaked to the wrong people at the wrong time can destroy destinies that took years to build. The enemy uses this leaked information to embarrass you, damage your reputation, sabotage your relationships, and create confusion in your life. The goal is to make you paranoid, isolated, and reluctant to trust anyone with sensitive information. In Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 20, Solomon wrote, "Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter." Solomon understood that there are spiritual forces capable of carrying information from private places to public spaces. The word bird here in Hebrew is opsh, which refers to flying creatures, but spiritually it represents messenger spirits that transport information. The enemy uses leaked information strategically. He wants to embarrass you, damage your reputation, sabotage your relationships, and create paranoia in your life. When your private information keeps getting exposed, you start becoming afraid to trust anyone. You become isolated, which makes you more vulnerable to attack. This, right here, is spiritual warfare through information warfare.
It's important that you all understand that these demonic spirits don't just watch your life from a distance. They gather spiritual intelligence about your habits, weaknesses, struggles, and even your victories. Once they collect that information, they can either attack you directly, or they can pass it along to other spirits assigned to tempt, oppress, or sabotage you. This is spiritual information warfare. This is where the enemy uses knowledge about you as a weapon against you.
The second major sign of spiritual monitoring is when, every time you're close to a major breakthrough, unexpected obstacles arise that seem to come from nowhere at that exact time. You're about to get a promotion, and suddenly your boss finds fault with your work. You're about to receive a financial blessing, and an unexpected expense wipes out your savings. You're about to enter that relationship, and something happens to drive you apart. This is what I call breakthrough sabotage, and it's one of the most frustrating forms of spiritual attack. The enemy can study seasons and knows that your breakthrough is coming because he's been monitoring your spiritual progress, your prayers, and your seasons. He positions obstacles right at the finish line to discourage you from pressing forward. The timing of these obstacles is too precise to be coincidental. They don't happen randomly. They happen exactly when you're about to step into your next level. The enemy has been watching your spiritual development, and he knows when you're ready for breakthrough. That's when he deploys his most strategic attacks. For example, you've been praying for a new job for months, and finally, you get called for an interview at your dream company. The night before the interview, your car breaks down, your babysitter cancels, and you wake up sick. These aren't random events. They're coordinated attacks designed to prevent you from stepping into your breakthrough, or you've been believing God for a financial miracle, and suddenly you receive an unexpected check in the mail. But before you can even deposit it, your family member is sick, your car needs major repairs, and you receive a bill you weren't expecting. The enemy monitored your prayers and positioned these expenses to steal your breakthrough.
Breakthrough sabotage is so frustrating because it happens when the enemy, often through monitoring spirits, throws a sudden and strategic obstacle at you right before your blessing. And you'll notice that it's strategically timed. These spirits have been quietly observing your progress, noting the signs that your season is about to shift, and that's when they launch a targeted attack to derail you emotionally, spiritually, and/or physically. Another difficult part of this is that sometimes it shows up as a crisis. An unexpected bill, a health flare-up, a relationship blow-up, or even an overwhelming feeling of doubt. Other times, it's temptation, an opportunity to compromise, a distraction that looks urgent, or something pushing your buttons to make you react in the flesh. The enemy's goals is simple. If he can't get you to quit, give in, or lose focus, he can delay or even forfeit your breakthrough. The key to defeating it is discernment and spiritual stubbornness. When you recognize this is a sabotage, you refuse to be moved. You keep praying, keep obeying, and keep moving forward, knowing that the obstacle is actually a confirmation that your breakthrough is near. This concludes my message. May the Most High baruch you and keep you all safe in this hour. And remember Matthew 24:13, he that endures unto the end, the same shall be saved. And until my next video, Shalom.